talk to you about the interest rates and the cut.
Well, as we predicted last time, we were going to cut a quarter. A cut came off. Well, as far as the banks were concerned, it came off. I don't think anybody's seen any reductions on the high street as a result. So I think we've bottomed out on interest rates now. So it could still, if the world continues to weaken, look forward to another cut. But the monetary policy statements saying it's going to be at 1 3/4 for the balance of 2018. So don't expect any massive changes there.
So keep on to a fixed mortgage or a floating one?
Well, that's down to your circumstances. The best rates are at the moment about a year, which indicates that the banks are thinking of lifting in the medium term. I've just sort of put some money down, but I've put it on 12 months, but that's what I've done because it suits my circumstances. But think about, there's some good 5-year rates out there if you want forward stability. And that's down again to the way you sit in the world.
Yeah, okay. Post-Trump.
Oh my goodness, wasn't that amazing? I don't know if anybody really sat and watched that stuff, but we've got this post-truth, post-Trump, statements like over the past couple of days, I would have won the popular vote if all those illegal people hadn't voted. No evidence, nothing, just a statement. And this is coming from probably the most powerful individual in the world. That's
scary.
It's, in one sense, that's really, really quite scary. And the guy doesn't talk like a politician. Politicians of the centre variety tend to be stable. They don't try to stir up trouble. They don't sort of point to the other in society and say they're a problem, because that tends to encourage the fringes to get even worse. They try to damp things down. Trump doesn't seem to be going down that particular track. That said, the US dollar strengthened a little bit as a result, which I'm always up for. The markets have been, having sort of got over the oh dear stage, have actually come back quite strongly, and we've seen Wall Street as strong as it's ever been. So maybe somebody said, I read somewhere about this could be the privatization of the US presidency. So that's going to be good for business.
Yeah, which is good.
But it might not be good for individual freedoms or peace and tranquility across society, which is probably bad. So on balance, it's something to be avoided. Yeah. No, it's hard to say.
Exactly. Back home, are we still looking for inflation?
So the Reserve Bank is looking hard for inflation. You read the monetary policy statement and inflation's out there somewhere. My own view is there isn't. My own view is there's too much private debt. Private debt at 170% of GDP. People aren't taking on debt now. That ultimately will lead to softness in markets, because if you're not taking on debt, you're not spending. If government is focused on surpluses and tax cuts and earthquakes, tends to sort of one push off against the other, then again, I can't see significant inflation pressure out there.
What about world markets?
World markets, well, we've got Brexit. We've got all of the go-arounds there. We are, we aren't. What does, Brexit means Brexit, but we're not sure what Brexit means, is the line that comes through. And so that's hitting Europe. It's hitting the UK. Yeah. With that, in terms of Europe, we're a bit worried. North America, we've already touched on, and sort of that says we've got a few questions. And throw in the mix the TPP, the North American or the Trump approach to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, China, the Pacific Rim, all of these things are unstable, and economics hates uncertainty.
Of course, very briefly, that affects New Zealand.
That affects us. I mean, if you look at trade difficulties, you look at the US, massive dollar internationalization. So the traded sector is massive, but it's only 10% of the American economy. In New Zealand, our external economy is 30% of our economy. So when the world gets a cold, if you like, we might get pneumonia.
Exactly.
And they are questions that do confront us. And I think again, go back to my comment about politicians trying to smooth things over. I think we've seen from Bill English and from John Key sort of the smoothing over.
Briefly, let's look back for the last 12 months.
Well, we opened the year, we had the general sell-off. The currency was in the mid-60s against the US. Markets were in a bit of a panic. The payout was $4, $4.50, and it was doom and gloom. We moved forward a few months, 9 months, 12 months, and the payout's back towards $6. The currency has strengthened a little bit. It's in the sort of 70 rather than the mid-60s. Markets seem to have accommodated all of the things that have happened in the world. So hey, we're going into Christmas and life's a breeze.
John, thank you very much indeed.